in whichever field that you are in, whether you are a lawyer or anybody else, that in any case is required. But beyond that, where you need to, and not only in, see, the beauty about oratory skills is not that it will get you a good naukri or a good chokri. No, that is not the end result of that. The best thing about oratory is that it has ability to change history. In fact, those of you who have heard about people who changed history because of their oratory skills. Abraham Lincoln, for instance, when he made that famous speech in the year 1863 at Pennsylvania, 273 words. That when he made that speech against racial discrimination, that became a watershed moment in American history. He made speech against racial discrimination. Exactly 100 years after that, 1963, at Abraham Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., uh, Martin Luther King Jr., he made a speech against racial discrimination again. I have a dream. Most of you must have heard about that. I have a dream is what he said. And thereafter, about 250,000 people who had gathered outside Abraham Lincoln Memorial in Washington when Martin Luther King made that speech. I have nothing to offer except blood, sweat, and toil. What Winston Churchill said during World War II, because at that time Germany was running away with all the trophies, and the Allied forces were down. Axis forces were invading one country after the other, and then Allied forces were almost doomed. And that is when he made that speech. Who? Winston Churchill. He was the Prime Minister of Britain. He was 2 times Prime Minister of Britain, once during World War II and once after that. So when he made that speech, he motivated or galvanized his people. So that was his ability. Then he said, or to say, ask not what your country can do, ask yourself what you can do for the country. Who said this? John F. Kennedy, American president. We have nothing to fear but fear itself, is what Roosevelt said just before the World War II. Right? So these are those statements. Or, for instance, Vivekananda, when he made that famous speech in Chicago, 1896, my dear sisters and brothers of, when he spoke about Hindu religion, he said that is the foundation of all other religions in the world. So when he made that speech, he was given, I think, 7 or 8 minutes. He went on for about 23 minutes, because that was the ability to convey his thoughts to the public who had gathered there. So these are the various instances of, or our own, like say, Subhash Chandra Bose, for instance. He told people, he said, give me blood, I will give you freedom. I want complete Swaraj, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So when he made such speeches, it galvanized people. So this ability to speak powerfully has a lot of power in it, in the sense that you are able to move many things because you are able to communicate well. Communication, I think many things or many facets of communication have already been communicated to you. It is not just about speaking good English. It's not about having a fantastic vocabulary or a very broad vocabulary. It is our ability to speak from the heart. If you can speak what you mean and mean what you speak, that is very good communication. How is a good communicator? We know the moment somebody is very genuine about something, what he says, we say that he is a very good communicator. Why? Because he means what he says and says what he means. So communication is about those things and less about your vocabulary and style of speaking, attitude, accent, and things like that. They come next. But you're genuinely about speaking something good. That is what is more important. Okay? So I think you are in safe hands here with Mr. Shyam Kumar. I think he's taking a lot of pains to come prepared himself and then impart knowledge to you on day-to-day basis. Right? When he speaks or when somebody speaks, try and pick up something that has struck you. Even today I make notes about so many other things, because as we said, in fact last time when I came here, I asked what is one thing that the ladies do after they prepare dal. What is that one thing that they do? They, after preparing dal, what do?
Play with.
Huh?
Play with.
Tadka.
Flavoring, yeah.
They put tadka.
Flavoring.
Yeah. Unless you put tadka to your speech will not be effective. So the tadka is this what? Your style, body language, accent, vocabulary, all these things will matter, right? So as you go along, in fact, it's not much about the teacher, it's about the student. If you have that, many people pass out of English medium schools, convent school, but you think all of them are good speakers? No. Only those people. Sachin Tendulkar, for who was his teacher? Who was his guru? Who was his coach? Anybody? Ramakant Archrekar. He was also coach of Vinod Kambli. Now see where Vinod Kambli is and where Sachin Tendulkar is. Vinod Kambli uh, went totally astray. And I'm sure Ramakant Archrekar in his coaching career, he would have probably coached about 600, 700, 800 or thousands of cricketers. But he could produce only one, Sachin Tendulkar. So it is more about student and less about guru. Dronacharya, when he probably taught Pandavas and Kauravas for the first day, how many people were there? 105 people were. 100 Kauravas and 5 Pandavas. 105 people were there. And then, if you could produce only one Arjuna, that means it was more about Arjuna and less about Dronacharya. Right? So it's also about Guru also. But who is a Guru? One who identifies the talent in the student is a Guru. Guru. Gurithisovano. In Kannada we say Guru means one who can identify. On the first day when 105 people were standing there in that this thing, when Dhritarashtra gave him, okay, take these 105 small children and make good archers of them and things like that. So Dronacharya made them stand, and first thing that he did was to identify what is one unique ability in each of them. After identifying each of their ability, he gave mace, you understand? Gada. That he gave to whom? Bhim. Lancer. You understand Lancer what it is? That spear thing, yeah? He gave it to Dharmaraja. Bow and arrow, he gave it to Arjuna. So he identified different abilities, uniqueness of each student, and then only he started coaching them in that particular field. So everyone has different abilities and different capabilities. So accordingly, we need to identify what are our inborn talents within us, and thereafter try and start honing those skills. You need to, before I forget, before I come to my own army life or things like that, you need to nowadays, in fact, those days when we were there, I'll tell you one this thing. I was in Sainik School Bijapur and my mama was in military school Belgaum. In my whole family, if someone who could speak reasonably good English was my mama. He was in military school Belgaum. And he was a physics teacher. But since he was in military school Belgaum, his English was very good. I won't say very good, but it was, he had fascination. He had some kind of an addiction, okay, on what this particular language. So what I used to do was, from Sainik School, I used to write a letter to him every week. What was the aim of that letter? I used to write about my own happenings in Sainik School. It used to reach him. Thereafter, after opening, he used to correct that letter. Oh, here the comma should have come, full stop should have come, capital should have come, this sentence would have been written like this is passive sentence, this is active sentence, and things like that. He used to make corrections on the same envelope and then send it back to me to Sainik School. When I used to read, and thereafter I used to correct myself, because that was the only way to correct one's own self. But these days, you have number of apps which probably teach you how to speak good English, how to build your vocabulary. There are so many apps these days, so many books, so many periodicals. Before stepping out of the house, if you can read a newspaper every day, nothing like it. And when you read, look for so many things. One is personalities, current events, English, vocabulary, sentence forming, all these things. Of course, these days, especially when you are here to improve your communication and language skills, emphasis should be more on those things. When you're looking for something, you should try and find out what I can take out from here. Spend about half an hour every day, make note of it. This word I learned today, this sentence I learned today, this quotation I learned today, this saying I learned today. So when you read a newspaper for about half an hour, your horizon increases. You become broader. Not only that, you're able to speak. It is not about good speaking good English. It's about speaking something sense. How will you do it? Unless you have knowledge, you cannot speak. So where do you get knowledge from? From reading. So somebody says, if you want to become interesting, you have to be interested. Unless you are interested in many things, whether it is trekking, traveling, reading, writing, music, when you are interested in so many things, automatically you become interesting. See, when you go and speak to somebody in a social circle, marriage function or birthday function or any other function, when you go and speak to somebody, what is he looking for? Value addition to his own knowledge. So if you can do that, when you go there, if you are well versed in so many topics, whether it's architecture, automobiles, jewelry, bullion. What is bullion? Bullion market. Bullion market means anything to do with the precious metals, gold, silver, all that is known as bullion market. We invest in so many things: stock market, banking, financial sector, bullion, and real estate. These are four quadrants of our investment. Generally, we invest in these things. So, bullion is also one of the areas of investment. What I'm trying to tell you is that when you read wide, your knowledge on so many topics increases. And when it increases, your ability to hold forth. If I'm having a conversation with him, then when I'm able to, he's from Assam, right? Which part of Assam, west or east?
West, sir.
West. Where exactly?
Actually, Silchar.
Silchar. So he's from Silchar. So if I know a bit of geography of Assam, where is west of Assam, where is east of Assam, what are its this thing, I'm able to strike a conversation with him. If let's say she's from Kerala. Now, if I know that, if I just happen to meet her in maybe that while traveling or in a train or something like that, I'm able to strike conversation with her. Then I will ask her, oh, you're from Calicut, that is not Kerala. Okay, it's closer to Kannur. Then as you go down, we have Ernakulam, Kochi, Trivandrum, and things. That's South Kannur. Speciality of Calicut. That's where in 1498, first time, who came? Vasco da Gama came. That's a beach called Kapad Beach, which is between Calicut and Kannur. The Kapad Beach is where, for the first time in 1498, Vasco da Gama came and landed, and that's where, for the first time, a foreigner set foot on Indian soil and started trading in spices. Okay, that is where our colonization of India, first by Portuguese. In fact, who came first to India to colonize us is not Britishers. It was actually the Portuguese who came. So he was the first one to come and land there at Kapad Beach, and that is where it started. So if I'm able to strike a conversation with her on her topics, okay, why is it called the land of gods? What is peculiarity about worship of temples there? How is it so very beautiful? What are the characteristics of Keralites? They work in Dubai, all right, but they don't work within Kerala. For working in Kerala, they call people from Tamil Nadu. Okay?
Bengal.
Yeah, or Bengal. So they will work in Dubai, they will work in UAE, they will work elsewhere. But in Kerala, they want labor. They want somebody to come and work for them in Kerala. So that is, these are something humor. So you must also, but humor is also a very important part of your conversation. Make sure, how do you make a conversation very, very interesting and beautiful? By adding humor, hasya, very, very important. How many rasas are there in a human being? Shringara rasa, Navarasa, that is 9 bhava, 9 rasas are there. In acting, how many rasas are there? 9. Bhaya, dhairya, these are all known as Navarasagalu. 9 rasas are there in every. If you are able to enact that, then you are a good actor also.
Sir, Rasa, does that mean emotion?
Yeah, they're all emotions. These are all emotions. So these are Navarasagalu we call. Navarasa, Navabhava. So if you are good at these things, you become a good actor also. And life is all about what? Being a good actor. Why? Because you got to portray something of yourself to somebody else. Right? So this is very, very important. Cultivate this habit of how do you spice up speaking? One is hasya. The second one is statistics. When I'm speaking to her about this thing, I also tell her about Kerala population, Kerala literacy, Kerala. So when I add certain things to that, statistics, it becomes very, very interesting. Or something historical, like say Parashurama with his
Sword.
axe
Axe.
he was able to divide the sea, and that is how this portion of land is believed to have evolved. Or Bali Chakravarti, or festival of Onam. What is so great about, what is that one uniqueness about Onam? It unites everybody in Kerala, whether he is a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu, whatever, irrespective of the religion that
We will
he
celebrate.
believes in. It unites everybody. That is the uniqueness of Onam festival, spread over about 10 days. Or different varieties of payasam that they have, or sadhya that they call. So all these things you can master. See, that is why I say, if you have an overview of many things, you'll become interesting. So fun is hasya, that is humor. Second one is statistics, you should add. Third one is your relevance. Trying to tell somebody who knows or interested in knowing that thing. If I try and tell automobile to somebody who is interested in construction business, it will be
Will
no
not.
go. First, you must understand the person that whom you are talking to. So you must speak to the not only in the language that he understands, but also the topic that he understands. If you talk to somebody a language or the topic that he doesn't understand, he will after 2 minutes or 3 minutes he will lose interest in you. So talking to somebody in the language that he understands is very important. Like if I am able to speak to him in Assamese, it's very very nice. I make an instant connect. It's not about English. Communication skill about the language is same. So, like Nelson Mandela said once, he says that when you speak to a person in the language that he understands, it goes to his head. But if you speak to a person in the language that is his mother tongue, it goes to his
Heart.
heart. So when I speak to him in Assamese, I made an instant connect with him. So that is how you should understand that if someone is a Tamilian, if I'm able to speak to him in Tamil, I have made an instant connection with him, right? So language is that powerful. So all these things matter, and then storytelling, for instance, or in communication, your storytelling ability is very important. For that, you must know many stories, very relevant stories, or quotations, or sayings. You must pepper your talk with quotations, sayings, stories, statistics, anecdotes. What are anecdotes? Stories which have really happened are known as anecdotes. There's a difference between a story and an anecdote. Anecdote is something which has actually happened. Okay? So I tell that in a form of a story. Story can be just imaginary. I can make a story standing here. It is imaginary. It may not be real. Whereas anecdotes are real stories. They are known as anecdotes. Okay, so if you know many anecdotes like this, if you read a book and then know something about Subhash Chandra Bose or Bal Gangadhar Tilak or Mahatma Gandhi or Nehru or anybody, all these, Nelson Mandela, anybody for instance, if you can take stories like that, what I used to do was, I started way back in 1982-83. I had a diary like this thick diary. I will show you next time when I come. I started then, this thick diary. I made partitions about 40-50 pages for anecdotes, 40-50 pages for good English, 40-50 pages for stories. So what I do, let's say she tells me a story today. What I do, I reduce that story to about 2 lines. And then I make a note of that story in my mobile these days. In my mobile, in my iPad, I make that 2 lines only. When I read those 2 lines, then I remember that story. So when I read all these anecdotes, stories, statistics, etc. in my mobile all the time, so it gets cemented in my mind. So whenever I'm speaking to somebody, these stories automatically come to my head. Right? I'm able to speak to somebody with good quotations, good stories, good this thing, and all of that. Why I close this
Question,
thing?
sir? Fine. Okay.
Okay, so this is how you can build your have a buddy. Ask him. Like someone says, she just said, "Sir, I was interested in career." There's a difference between career and career. So when you have a buddy, he tells you that the way you pronounce this word is incorrect, and there is nothing to feel ashamed about, right? We're all here to learn. Till death we will keep learning. So first step to knowledge is to understand that we are ignorant. First step to knowledge is what? Is to understand that we are ignorant. The moment you feel that you are already knowledgeable, nothing will go in your head. There was this big Vidwan who used to teach music to various people in one kingdom. So one day Raja thought that I must also go and learn some music from this fellow, from Vidwan. So he comes to him and then says, okay, I would like to enroll myself for music classes. So what are your charges and things like that? He said. So uh, then the Vidwan says, I charge 500 rupees per month for every student. Then Maharaja says, no, no, I know already about 60-70% of music. So how much do you charge me? Then the Vidwan says, then I will charge you 1000 rupees. Then he said, no, no, other people don't know anything and you're charging 500 to me. Since I know already 60%, you're charging me 1000 rupees. How is it fair? So this Vidwan tells him, because you have that this thing that you already know, so it is already bhara hua yahan. The first thing that I have to do is take it out first. First I have to empty your mind or your dimag or brain. Then only I can put my knowledge into your brain. So it is double effort. Okay? First thing is to take it out. The second one is to give you a new software. So he says that means it's double effort. That's why I charge you 1000 rupees. So that is why first step to knowledge is always understand that you are ignorant. Okay? So from here you must make a concerted effort about, and you must be at it. You must be at it. Unless you are at it, it's not going to help. Just by listening to a story here, just by listening to him here, or making one word here, this will not help. You've got to be at it. Apart from reading a newspaper every day in the evening, make it a habit. 8 to 8:30, come what may. Your husband is there, wife is there, not there, whatever. 8 to 8:30, you must listen to one English news channel. By doing this, what will happen is you will come to know about current affairs, the way they speak, the way they present themselves, okay, how they pronounce each word, personalities involved, how the debating takes place. All these things you are able to understand. You become worldly wise. You see many things that you are learning by do two things. One is reading newspaper in the morning and listening to a news item in the evening. Many things that you learn, pick up. See, Rome was not built in a day, so your knowledge also will not come in a day. It will take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now, you will see the change in yourself. When you do this, so unless you are desperate to get something, someone went to one great tapasvi, and then tapasvi was walking along the riverside. So this boy says that Guruji, teach me everything about life, so many skills and things like that. So Guruji just takes that small little boy and goes into the river, and thereafter what he does, he holds his hair like this and then puts him into the water. So this small boy starts panting for breath. He starts panting for breath. Then he takes it out. Takes him out and then he breathes. Again he puts him out. Then again he takes it out. So after 3-4 times when he pulls him out like this and then takes him back to the river bank, then he asks the child, what is it one thing that you wanted very desperately when you were inside water? So the boy says what? Breath. Breath. I wanted breath. He said, if you want anything in life as desperately as you wanted breath while you were inside water, then you will definitely get it. So that should be your level of hunger. Unless you have that level of hunger, nothing is, oh, सीखेंगे, पढ़ेंगे, वो नहीं होगा. Unless that level of hunger is there, मैंने करना ही है. Oh, Abhi, I'll tell you one thing. While let's say English is one thing that I was passionate about, and then what is the difference between passion and obsession? Passion is positive obsession. Obsession is negative passion. Obsession is a negative term. It's a negative passion. Is obsession. Positive, this thing is obsession. Okay. So while we are certain things, like say learning English was my obsession. I wanted to learn very desperately. Like one thing that I have not learned even over the years, although I have been wanting to do it, is dancing. I've been wanting to dance. You know, in the army social circles that probably on every New Year Eve or any other occasion, we generally have dance programs where small, small parties. Unless if you know how to dance little, I'm not saying you got to become Michael Jackson. Just for the party, if you're able to shape your leg well, and then rhythmic in nature, if your body has a rhythm, then you can dance a bit. Okay, you can go with the flow. Our aim in life is to do what? Go with the flow. Very very important. So then you are not out of place anywhere. So if I knew little dance, so I've been wanting to learn dance for last 40 years, but I have not been able to do it. Why? और यार करेंगे करेंगे कुछ हुआ नहीं अभी तक. But I have been, I'm very very keen to learn this. Very keen. I can sing a little, I can sing, but I can't dance. But I've been wanting to do dance. Although I have taken some classes online and did Bhangra, Shankar and all that, but structured learning I wanted to do. I have not been able to do dancing. So that's one regret that I have. So likewise, when you have passion, very intense passion, you will pick up this. Your Rapidex, in fact, in those days we used to have Rapidex English speaking course books used to come. And that was our only way to learn a particular language. Nowadays, there are so many things that you can learn from. In fact, if you got a mobile, there are many things that you can learn from mobile itself. Okay, so be at it, and unless you are at it, you won't get it. So that is my first advice to you, is to be working on yourself in this particular field, and you won't see the change all of a sudden. It will take time and number of years, and slowly, and also in addition to ability to speak, when we say communication skills, what does it involve? How many things? Huh? Communication skills means what?
The way of speaking, attitude, body language.
Okay. No, when I say skills, there are 4 things involved in communication skills: listening, reading, writing, speaking. So these are 4 things of communication skills. The first thing every man learns is listening skills. Okay. So likewise, when you practice all of these, listening, writing, speaking, and whatever, so when you do all of these simultaneously, communication skills very important. Write a paragraph every day. Substitute, and then once you write it, then go back to the dictionary or something like that, and then make a note of, you have used one particular word repeatedly. You can use synonyms for it. You can use a better word for a particular word. If you can do that, your English will improve. Your way of writing will become very powerful. Okay, you have seen, has anybody read some classic letters are there? For instance, Abraham Lincoln's letter to the teacher of his pupils, that is children. He has written a letter to the teacher of his children. Go back and read. You might get it on you'll get it on the internet. Classic letter. So there are many of these such letters where the letters have been so powerful that for generations they have been preserved, because each word, in fact, every word does not just have meaning. Every word has, in addition to this thing, they also sound and suggest. Every word also they sound and suggest. It's not just about meaning. It also sounds and suggests. So that is the power of every word. Okay, every word has a weight, different weight. Unless you weigh that word, you cannot use it. So making use of synonyms, antonyms, different words, similar this thing, you will, over a period of time, you yourself will understand, oh, I could have written this definitely better. Use it that way and then do it. Okay? Right. Now, what do I teach?
Anything, sir.
Okay.
I said that people will, we are actually privileged, right, to have sir here first of all, undoubtedly. Okay, fine. See, in when you go in the battlefield, you don't even have time to breathe. It's like boom, 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 right? So you people might be like able to that sir is
Right.
not giving you people even to take the breathe. So
Okay.
that actually
I will tell you something about my way of the army life that I saw. Okay. After science school, I joined National Defence Academy, And for people who do not know, it is spread over how many acres? 8,000 acres. 8,000 acres is the area that is covered by National Defence Academy. The moment you go there inside, one thing that strikes you is the motto of National Defence Academy. Everywhere you go, from the full plates to quarter plates to the gates, everywhere you will find one motto of National Defence Academy, which is etched and written all over the academy. That is service before self. That is the motto of National Defence Academy. Service before self.
Sir,
Incidentally, Indian Army motto is also service before self.
Sir.
Why do you think Indian Army succeeds where everybody fails? Whether it is paramilitary forces or civil administration or police or bureaucrats, when they fail, whom do they call in last? Whom do they call in last? Whether it is earthquake or tsunami or train accident or anything like that, whom do they call last? Army. Why? Because when everybody fails, Army succeeds. Because we have that motto, that service before self. So when I went inside, the first thing that they did was to take me to a barber shop, you know, and barber shop was a very big hall because there were about 15, 16 barbers and with 15, 16 chairs. And once this was the barber shop, and then outside was a small hall, and in that there were a number of mirrors. Here where I was sitting, there were no mirrors, only barber chair was there and a barber was there. The moment you went inside, he gave you what kind of a cut they have, what kind it is called? It is known as crew cut. It's known as
This one is crew cut.
Yes. It has now become fashion because Virat Kohli is
people
quoting
call it
it.
army cut.
But those days, you could make out an army man from others. How? By the way they had haircut. So from here, everything was cut. It was all bald here. And only here we had 1 inch hair on top of our head. So when we wore a beret, when we wore that cap, beret it's called, nothing was seen here. It was all bald. And every week we had to take a haircut. Every week. Sunday aate, every Sunday we had to take a haircut. So there is no way that you could go for a parade on Monday without a haircut. Otherwise you land up with restrictions and punishment. Yes. If you went for a parade next day morning on Monday to the drill square without the haircut on Sunday, that man, that recruit or that guru or we used to call him Ustad. That Ustad was so screwed up that he could tell you from your haircut, when did you have a haircut last? 2 days old, 3 days old, 1 day old. So if you had had haircut even on Thursday, even then you had to have a haircut on Sunday. So there was no way that you could go on Monday without a haircut. Now, beauty about this, first time when I went inside, there were about 15, 16 people, I said, because the strength of the academy is about 350 people. So for 350 people, it had to be quick fix, noodle. Okay? So sit inside and then you just put one white cloth on top of you. He will take that machine, cut. He will do everything. Within 1.5 minutes, your haircut is over. There is no fashion there. One cut here, then he will do dish. No, nothing. One machine, or a clipper, that's a clipper. With a clipper, he used to just shave off your this thing, and then with the scissor and this thing, 1 inch long hair. That's about all that. Within 2 minutes, your haircut was over. So the first time that in fact, when I entered NDA, I had fairly good hair. Now I lost it because I had thick hair, and then everything was good. So when I went thereafter, when I had my first haircut, I said in that hall there were no mirrors. There were no mirrors. But when I came outside, there was another hall where there were mirrors. And when I looked at myself, leave others recognizing me, I could not recognize myself. So then that question came to me, is that why is that the army people have this kind of crew cut? It is to convey a message. It is not that we have less water, so we have to have a crew cut. It is not that it is to bring about uniformity in all soldiers. It is not that when a soldier runs away from army camp, he is able to be identified in the civil street very easily. None of these reasons. So when you analyze that reason, one reason that came to my mind is that why you have haircut is that your old identity is now gone. You have a new identity. That new identity is that of the Indian Army. That you have now become part of a larger organization. So the identity that I had, the identity card that I had before entering National Defence Academy was with long hair, big mustache or whatever it was. Now I am totally different. My not only look has changed, my outlook also has changed. Not just the look, even the outlook has changed. So that message that is given to every soldier, that when you have a crew cut, you are not your old self. You are now your new self. And that new self is part of a larger organization. That individual identity is now obliterated. It's now gone. So the new identity is that of which merges with the organization. So that is that message that I had from the first haircut. Then we went to Indian Military Academy. There's 1 year training that we did in Indian Military Academy. On the last day, like after every training, we have what is known as the passing out parade. So passing out parades are held on the last day of the academy. So when I finished my training of 1 year, so passing out parade was held, and some chief guests like the president or the prime minister or the chief is the reviewing officer. He comes and reviews the parade. So after that, when we take that slow motion antim pad, we call the last step, antim pad. So when we move there on the Chetwood building, if you go back and see in your internet, just Google Indian Military Academy main building, you will find a very beautiful building that's called as Indian Military Academy. On that building is written Chetwood motto. Chetwood was Field Marshal Chetwood of British Army. He was instrumental in establishing this Indian Military Academy in the Dehradun. So what is written there? The safety, welfare, honor of your country comes first, always and every time. The safety, honor and welfare of the men that you command comes next. Your own safety, honor and welfare comes last, always and every time. So this is a message that is given to the officers. The officers who are passing out from the portals of that building, when you take that antim pad, you are looking at that Chetwood motto. It says the safety, welfare and honor of your country comes first, always and every time. And the safety, welfare, honor of your men that you command, the soldiers that you command comes next. And your own safety and your own welfare and your own thing, whatever it is, it comes last, always and every time. So that was the motto that was given to us. Then thereafter I had my first posting on the China border. That is a place called Bumla. The first posting was Bumla. That is the place where the Chinese came uninvited in the year 1962. Those of you who have not read or not aware of the military history, that's different. But that is the place where we fought our first Indo-China war. That's in the year 1962. Chinese men came from that particular route.
Was it Siachen and all?
No, Siachen is in north.
Okay.
This is in Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
From Assam, when you go towards Arunachal, Bomdila. Now, you have to go to that place where I was posted. That took us about 3 days, because at every stage we had to acclimatize and then go. That was at a height of about 14,000 feet. 14,000 feet, huge mountains. So when you start going from mean sea level to those heights, you start panting for breath. You become breathless. So many, if you don't take precautions or if you do not acclimatize your body to the changing weather conditions, you are likely to fall sick and it might become fatal. So after every stage, 6,000 feet, 9,000 feet, 12,000 feet, we have to stay there, acclimatize for about 4 days, 5 days, and then go to the next stage. So till the time you acclimatize your body to the changing weather conditions, you cannot go directly to those heights. So when we went there, this place called Bumla, and while going, there's a place called Nuranang. That Nuranang is a place where we fought a major battle. Indian Army and the Chinese fought a major battle in the year 1962. Same war. Chinese people came, and there was one sepoy there. His name was Jaswant Singh. and that Jaswant Singh from Gadwal Rifle, he was standing there all alone on a mountain top. He was able to hold 2,000 Chinese, because when somebody is on top of a mountain, not hill. You don't confuse hill with mountain. These hills are very small, prickly hills. Okay, mountains are huge. When you are standing on top of a mountain along with one machine gun, you are able to hold the entire army there, because nobody can dare move up. It is difficult. It is difficult to move up. So with that one single machine gun, he was able to hold the 2,000 marching troops of the Chinese. They were invading, they were attacking, they were advancing, but he was able to hold. How? He fired from here once. After 10 minutes, he took that MMG or machine gun, went to another spot, started firing from here. Then went to another spot, started firing from here. So the attacking force, they got an impression that there are many people deployed on the top. So it was in a way to confuse the enemy. So only he was there. But since he was firing from different locations, the Chinese thought that there are many people deployed on top. So they did detailed planning. So see, unless if there is only one chap, many people can come up. But when you know that there are many chaps on top, so what will he do? He will do detailed planning, okay, to come up. So that stalled his advance by 2 days. So this man was able to stand there and fight Chinese alone from that mountain top for about 2 days. And thereafter, of course, they came up, they chopped his head off and took it away. And after the battle, they were so very impressed with his bravery and valor that they came back to return the severe head. The head that had taken of that person, they came back to give it back to the Indian government. So even today when you go there, there is a belief that a particular person has become Baba, and he still lives there. His Atma still lives there, and every year he's sent on a annual leave, and his 2 soldiers escorted. That his room is now it's looked after. His bed is made. His shoes are polished. Everything is maintained there, because we believe that at Jaswantgarh his Atma still lives. That is the belief in that soldier who was able to hold on to the enemy for about 2 days. By gaining 2 days, Indian army behind in the hinterland, that means in the area behind, they were able to plan properly about the enemy's advance. So he made a big sacrifice. That was known as self-sacrifice. He became a martyr. But he was unmindful of his own life. Now that is the quality of a leader. Okay. Now leadership is not about top to bottom. That one who is a president or a vice president or chief minister or deputy chief. Anyone who is the leader.
Singh, you said the name.
Yeah, Sipai Jaswant Singh. That's known as Jaswantgarh. That place where this temple is there and this thing is also there. That's known as Jaswantgarh. That is the place where when you go from Balukpong, that's the base of Assam. When you go from Balukpong to Tenga, Bomdila, before you reach Tawang, there is a place called Nuranang, and that near Nuranang is a place called Jaswantgarh. That is where there is a temple and there is a memorial of this person. There is a memorial. Every person of the Indian Army, whether it is a general or a brigadier or a colonel or anybody, all vehicles halt there, convey their pranam, and then only they will proceed from there. Everybody, while going down or going up, whether you are going towards Tawang or coming down towards Balukpong, everybody will halt. Mata tek ke jana. What is it called? Mata tek ke jana. That is to go down pranam. For those of you from Tamil Nadu and Kerala will find it difficult. Mata tekna means the way we go to the distance, we bow our heads down to these martyrs and then only resume our journey forward. So this is about leadership. So leadership is not, this is known as situational leadership. It's not about top to bottom. There's something known as reverse leadership also. Yeah. It is not that only the top man he's a repository of all the wisdom and knowledge that only he can pass on the knowledge to down below. No. If my subordinate is there, there are many things that I can learn from him. Who is a leader? Anyone who can influence somebody is a leader. In your family also, anyone who can influence someone, it could be a wife, it could be a father, it could be a grandfather, it could be a grandmother, it could be anybody. Anyone who can influence the actions of others, he automatically becomes a leader. That is known as situational leadership. Right? So, likewise, if I can recall another battle, Razangla, Battle of Razangla in the year 1962 again. Now, Razangla, this Chinese war was fought on two fronts. One here, Arunachal Pradesh, one here in eastern Ladakh. Now, if you see Indian map, now let us say this is Indian map. This side is Arunachal Pradesh, and here is eastern Ladakh. Okay. Now, just roughly to draw. Okay, if this is the Indian map, now here somewhere is, here there was one attack from the Chinese, and here eastern Ladakh, this portion, this is known as, now Ladakh is here, eastern Ladakh, this is where another battle took place. At this place, this height, somewhere here, is Razangla. La in Tibetan language is known as a pass, Razang La. La. Boom La. What is boom La? Boom La. Bomb di La. Bomb di La. La, this La means pass. Pass. So when you have two huge mountains, okay, now this gap for which can be made motorable, where we can construct the road. Can you make a road on top of the mountain?
No.
It will become
Difficult.
efforts are more. So we look for these gaps between the mountain ranges where we can make a, so this pass, even if we had no tar road, the people there, the tribes or people who dwell in mountains, how do they go from one place to another? They go through these gaps, because going through the mountains, going up and coming down will always be more strenuous. So they will use these are known as las. Like in GG is also known as grazing ground. Okay, so there are various terms in Tibetan language which means this. So here also there was an attack, the place called Razangla, and there was one Major Shaitan Singh. Major Shaitan. He was the one officer, he was the company commander. One company has about 120 people, 120 soldiers. So with those 120 soldiers, he was deployed here on Razangla. And when Chinese men came here, almost about 2,000 odd people, just about 120 people, they were all able to hold them for about 2 days here also. And at the end of 2 days, since they did not have anything with them, they did not have equipment, they did not have firepower, they did not have covering fire, but they were almost on their own. And on those mountains, in the month of November, and since they did not have anything, all of them died in their trenches. All of them died in their trenches. 6 people were taken as PWs, prisoners of war. 6 people were taken as prisoners of war, and one chap was escaped. One chap escaped. He did not escape. He was made to go back and tell the story of Battle of Razangla. The company commander told him that you can go back and tell the countrymen how we fought this battle. And when people went, after the war was over, when people went to retrieve the bodies, all the 120 people, out of that 6 people were taken PWs, one chap came back, and nearly 114 or so, 113, 14, all of them died in their own trenches with a bullet where? On their chest. That means what? They did not run away. When will a man get bullet on the chest? Only when he stands to fight. If he runs away, where will he get his bullet? He will get on the back. So none of them had a bullet on the backside. All of them had bullets on the chest. So all of them stood there to fight a battle known as Battle of Razangla. So that is the heroism, valor, sacrifice of the Indian soldiers. That is leadership. They were able to stand and then guard the borders there when anyone would have run away from them. This is the kind of leadership that, what is the difference between the political leadership or corporate leadership or company leadership or this thing. Here we are dealing with lives of people. Not only my life. As a company commander, Shaitan Singh, Major Shaitan Singh, he had the responsibility of how many people? 120 people, 120 lives. Not only 120 lives, he had the responsibility of 120 families.
Yes.
Because when a soldier dies, the entire family also dies. Socially, they become untouchable. So when 120 soldiers die, it is 120 families who die. So this is the responsibility of that particular officer. And he stood there. And so no matter what, and after the war was over, Time magazine in America wrote that Indian soldiers need everything except courage. So courage is one thing that Indian soldiers have in abundance. In abundance. Okay? So this is one thing that courage is one thing that we had in abundance even then. Right? So this is the kind of leadership that we are talking about in the Indian Army. Okay? So with that, I will close today. Okay? Nice talking to you. Happy interacting. And slowly, whenever situations come or whenever the opportunity comes, I'll interact with you how to debate, how to make a speech, what should be this, how should you write letters to various civilian authorities, okay? What is the punchline that you can add? All these things that we can talk over next few sessions, okay? And I leave you with that thought that you must continue to work on yourself, okay? So even whatever job that you are doing, you may be in Flipkart or say, there's something known as 60-40. 60-40 in job. 60% of your efforts you should be working on the job, and 40% you should be working on yourself. On yourself. When you work on yourself, this you should not neglect.
Yes.
Okay. Now you will find there is a barber who is a very sincere barber, very good stylish barber. But if he only works on the job, throughout his life he will only remain what? A barber. But if he works on himself, he will open a good headmasters or some perimeter. He will open a good shop. Yeah, he will own a shop. Then he will employ 10 barbers with him.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you are a good mason, you will continue to be a mason. But if you work on yourself, learn something new, something good, something better, connected to your profession, then you will become a contractor.
Yes.
You will then start hiring masons. Otherwise, if you are only a good mason working on the job, you will continue to be a mason. So that one thing we need to understand, connected with your this thing, and you should be focused. Reading wide and all is fine, but also it should be concentrated on one particular line of business. Okay, this is what I want. That line of business is what you should always be concentrating upon. Okay, because you can't do too many things. So what is your core strength? What is your core area? Concentrate on that. Okay, concentrate on yourself. So over a period of time, you will definitely find a change in yourself. Okay. See you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So guys, how was this? Right. Getting insights from such a highly experienced person, right? See, we all can learn from some academic teacher, coming from school, university, colleges and all, right? But learning someone who has been into the real world, fine, you can actually get that insight. Remember one thing, leadership is not always about, how you actually take the charge of yourself and then along with you with others, of others. That's what is leadership. Leadership is more about your mindset. Fine. Mindset is what? How you perceive the things, how you perceive the situations, right? As sir said, situational leadership, right? And then what else? So many types of leaderships are there, right? Fine. If you go deep, right, then there are like those so many types of leadership, right? Where do you are, like democratic leadership you become, and then like a leader where you are, there are so many types of categories. But the thing is that having those insights and learning, that basically we learned, that part. Yaswant
This one,
Sepoy. Yaswant Singh Sepoy. That was basically the leadership. Fine.
This one is not a this one, it's Saitan.
No,
That is-
Satan is
Satan.
different.
This was in the second instance.
Oh,
The
First
first
in-
instance
Just one.
for Jaswant Garg, that was
alone he himself.
where
2
he
days
fought
ago.
alone
Alone.
by confusing the entire
That
troops.
group.
This right of 1962. It was all about
Just one.
Just one.
Jaswant
Garg.
Singh. Garg.
Yes, it's
The
a
place
place,
became
yes.
Jaswant Garg.
Garg.
Okay, singer.
Yes. The name was Jaswant
Jaswant Singh.
Singh. Jaswant Singh Sepoy. Right.
Maybe
So first thing that actually you people, right, how was your listening skill? One question. How are your listening skill? Were you guys able to maintain the same pace? The way sir he was moving, or you are guys, like oh just like 5 minutes and then I lost the attention and then I'm not able to. That's the listening skill. Remember, in all sort of communication skills. See, you will come here to speak something, but here I say people only one thing. Learning not to speak, but again you know how to communicate is communication skills. Right? So that is the smartest way of communication. Right? Communication is there about speaking so much and telling and all. No. Fine. So if you people, and when it comes to the communication skills, the most important part is, fine. You guys have actually, thank you so much that you actually continued for 1.5 hour at a stage. I know, right? But again, having such insights and all that, actually we are privileged, right? That we are able to take the classes from Dinesh sir. Okay. So the thing is that what is this? What I was saying, communication. The first important thing, listening skill. Right? How I am able to recollect everything. Jaswant Singh, Sepoy, Raigad, right? And then again, like what?
Shaitan.
Satan. He was basically the leader of that 122,
122.
where they all got the bullet on the chest
Yes.
and not in the back. A good listener can only become a good leader. If you guys do not understand this, you will never ever be able to become a leader. No matter what, I give you written with my name and stamp, everything and all. If you are not a good listener, not a listener, active listener, focused listener, you will never ever be able to become a good leader. Ask me how. Do you have any question? Ask how. What?
How?
I like the questions, trust me, because I'm ready with those questions. I say everywhere. You be with your questions and I'll give you 10 different answers. That's my style. All right. Because you people, you learn everything in those ways only, right? Yes. So, your question is
how
how? What was the question I asked?
a big listener can
Big
be
listener.
Good.
active listen.
I was speaking about something, some plans and all, right? You just, for 1 minute you missed. The plan was from here to here, reach here, right? Let's take a robbery, right? The plan was from here to here. You just missed for 1 minute. Now tell me, did you break the chain of that plan or not?
Yes.
Tell me.
Yes.
After opening the door, you have to keep the door open. You just missed this part.
All time.
You just missed this part. Everyone. So we will be going to JP Nagar. Then there is a place. There is a bank. In that bank, right? Everywhere will be securities. A CCTV camera will be there. This and all explanations were there. And then someone said, the leader said, the explainer, the guy who was explaining, that keep the door open, but keep that door open only. You missed that part. Now, when you are in the part of that plan, now you will be in a situation of closing or opening, right?
Yes.
Just because of your negligence of for those few seconds. Tell me, you are the one who is going to ruin the entire plan or not?
Yes.
Yes. Correct.
Understood?
Yes.
This is called the power of listening skills. Think like that. If you can think like that, then you will know the importance of everything. Listening, oh, from half an hour, he's just speaking in 1 hour. Then you are an ordinary guy. You are not here for leadership, right? Fine. Sir, again, he said, now you guys understood the importance of listening skills. Before you open your mouth, learn to listen. Come here to first of all listen first, then speak. Why you guys are learning to speak in so many ways? Why? Because I want you people to become effective, impressive, and expressive. With least speaking, least, not so much. You know, you go outside, right? Fine, maybe like some auto driver, he'll speak better English than you, maybe.
Yeah. 100%.
But how you are different? I'll speak one line, and
30
it's
times.
like boom, right? Like a
Fire.
blast. Even that should think, oh my goodness, the way he speaks, you know, and
Yeah.
how that should be the power. You guys understood?
Yes.
It's not just to impress people. It's all about to close the door in one shot, right? If you people have that, because good leaders, they never have, you know, like I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. This is not good at all. Because just I'm adding something that some conclusion from what
So,
Dinesh sir has actually, because he has spent 1.5 hour with you guys. So I don't want, you know, that you people, you know, just get out. So I'm just concluding those part only. Okay. So what I was saying, so even leaders have some attitude, right? Attitude means they don't have so much things. Oh, I will do it today. It will happen. Again, I will do tomorrow. It will happen. No, I'm going to do it. If it will happen, means happen. If it will not, I'll make it or break it. That attitude you need to have. Fine. They don't have much time, effort, and all that. Oh, I'll be doing again. When it will happen, then happen, right? We're doing preparation for some exam, for some job. It will happen, then happen. Why? This time is this time. Once you have that attitude, then you are going to become a leader. Leader means what? Your a team is dependent on you people. You guys understood? Okay, the last thing sir said, right, was 40-60. Right?
yeah.
Be proud of yourself. 40 part, right? You people are working on the best part someone can ever have in their entire life. I shared the ChatGPT link. Read it there. Personal branding. This is the skill.
Self.
Personal.
This is the skill.
Personal.
Your skills are
Skills,
This is
AI,
the skill.
Skills all can't.
Read it once again.
Skills
Skills
all
I can't replace. Yes, something. People generally, you know, they are in so much, tension, pressure, everything, you know. Oh, the AI will take up all the job, this and that and all. No, we are the one. We are ready with the Brahmastra. Okay, fine. When we say world level learning, world level confidence, world level everything and all, we make it like that. Okay, it's not, you know, only Americans will do. No, we Indians are much better than those people. Trust me, much better, right? You people just have, you know, conception, right? Oh, American, something is from America, all right, very good. It's from Britain, very good. No, it's not like that.
Now India's are best.
We Indians are much more better, and we are going to make this platform much better than what someone can have there. Okay, so 60-40. I'm just concluding, guys. I will not take much of time. Okay, because again, I value the time sir has given. Great. 60-40. 60% people are doing, you know, for your work, your job, everything. 40% standing on one leg, taking breathe with your one of nose, you know, like what you can say, no, what do you say, nostril.
Yes.
Fine. 40%. Focus on this.
Personal brand.
Yes. Personal branding now. Okay. Again, he sir was saying that, you know, Navarasha.
Navarasa.
Rasa.
Navarasha, right? So what? So sir wanted to convey one thing. Do you guys know, we are in your learning, impersonation, stand-up is also the part of it. Because if you are going for personal branding, I want you to make this platform as a launch pad. Right. I spoke with Shiva ma'am that prepare for your TEDx or Joe Talk. Did I say?
Yes.
Right. How many of you are actually have some sort of this thing that I while learning here I want to project myself as a world leader. Been sleeping?
No.
Okay, fine, all right. As a world leader, as a world speaker, do it. Once a week we have the presentation. Go and give your presentation like a comedian. You guys want to become comedian? Do it. Fine. Anything like that. So while learning personal branding, right, means you people are projecting for some career while you people are here, all of you. Okay. So if you have this, fine. Or take 5 minutes of time, right? And anything you have to do. We have all the equipments, place, everything. Fine. After class, even you people take 5 minutes, one, right? Or 2 minutes, whatever, right? Just do it something. Fine. Hold the mic, whatever you, in whichever way. Project yourself. Because when you project yourself, you are actually preparing for something. Whatever the career you people are going for. Okay. Rest what you have to do, 60% do it. Your job, your studies, your learning, your profession. But in this 30%, make sure you people are going for something specific. For some sure and short career. Are we okay? Fine. So we'll wrap up this guy. Okay, today only. And how was the class?
Was
Excellent.
excellent.
Awesome.
How many? Okay, all right, good. Actually, fine. So,
Something new different.
We
yeah,
learned
that's
Yes,
what.
different.
it's
Right,
not.
We
yes.
learned different.
So 1.5 hour, we didn't feel it is 1.5 hour.
Mm.
It's just 50
Right.
minutes.
Of course, people got like we got the opportunity, to see someone right having those experience and you people can also connect with Dinesh sir right on Facebook. He keeps writing so many write-ups and all. You can follow him as well. Okay. In case if you have interest, to following and then reading his write-ups and all. Okay. So this is what we are. Okay, and of course, sir will be every Tuesday. Okay, but doesn't mean you people are absent every Monday. Right? Because you have only 5 days. Fine. So we have to cover so many things. Fine. It's going to be very much vast and all. Fine. But of course, learning will be very much fast. Anything that all those things which are actually needed. Fine. I'll be really working hard on those part so that people can get all those things right on time. But make sure you people are also give your best. Fine. Don't just come for only that English communication. See, that's your requirement. Fine. But what we want to give you, our vision is different. Right? We want to shape you people, right? We want to give you complete transformation. We want to get out. Once you people get out from here, you should be ready as a businesswoman. You should be ready as a teacher. You should be ready as a corporate employee. You should be ready as a corporate employee. You should be ready as a for a good job. That should be, right? Not just limited. Okay, I just learned right now. Everything is finished now. What to do? Everything is on my own. No, not like that. Okay, guys. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
So